Hi, everyone. Welcome to another amazing topic of conversations. I want to thank my sponsors, South Florida PBS, and their immersive experience in the Da Vinci art exhibit. And Alexa's Workspaces. She can help you with an office, whether it's virtual, 1 hour, 1 month. She can totally help you out. And if you want to become an entrepreneur and have your own virtual boutique, Hermosa Mujer will be able to help you. So, Katia, thank you so much for talking about this um, tough conversation, for having a tough conversation with me today.
Yes. Crazy times, yes.
Immigration. Immigration, you are originally from Brazil.
Yes, I was born and
From the
raised. Mhm.
Somos law firm, which I have to say it's a women-owned law firm, which congratulations.
Thank you.
And first question,
Yes.
Brazil. What is going on? We have heard that there have been military planes deporting a lot of people to Panama, to Colombia, to South America, even to Guantanamo. But there has not been a lot in the news about Brazil. So, what's going on with Brazilian undocumented?
First of all, Gladys, thank you for having me. And as you said, my name is Katia Rocha. I'm an immigration lawyer from Somos, the law firm. And with my partner Luisa, we are a women-based, as you said, law firm here in Florida. I was born and raised in Brazil, and I have been living in the United States for the past 15 years. So yeah, it's been the past few weeks or almost a month already. Many things has happened, but as you asked about Brazil, Brazil already had like two flights of deported Brazilians during the new administration. The first flight was just a few days after inauguration. There were around 100 Brazilians, and as also as you mentioned, they were flew in military American military aircrafts. I don't know if you know, but for a citizen to be deported, there might has been like an agreement between the two countries. So Brazil and the US, they reached like this agreement back in 2018. So thousands of Brazilians, they have been deported for the past, what, 8 years, 9 years? Yeah, let's say around 8,000 to 10,000 Brazilians have already been deported. But what caught everybody's attention on these previous two flights were that the Brazilians were in shackles and handcuffs. Allegedly, they were not allowed to use the restroom. There was basically no food. And like there were not very sanitary conditions. And even though you're being deported, your human rights still needs to be, preserved. And so also the aircraft allegedly was not very safe. So the first flight needs to make an emergency stop in the Amazon jungle-ish before reaching the final destination somewhere in
A military flight?
Yes, yes. So usually when people are deported, so there were more than like 100 flights or almost 100 flights in the past few years, 4 or 5 years to Brazil, but they are all always commercial air flights. So these past two were in military planes, yeah, the aircrafts. And so the first one, people were really scared because okay, is are we going to get there or not, so when they got to Brazil, then the Brazilian authorities took over and flew them under a Brazilian military also plane, but they took over and to reach like these people's final destinations. Because once you arrive in your home country, you have not committed any crime, and you have just arrived in your country, so you're free to go. You have unless you are a criminal being deported for a criminal
Yeah,
case or
but that's
that's
another
not the case.
process. That's like extradition, the
Exactly.
whole
So
thing. This is about only immigration, which they don't have a.
yes. So people got there, and then the Brazilians, like the authorities, helped them with, okay, you can take a shower, a hot meal, and then they even provide transportation to their final destination. And the last or the second flight was last week with another 80 plus deported. And as soon as they reached the Brazilian airspace, it seems that they were released from their handcuffs. So when they got out of the plane, they were already, without the handcuffs and all of that. So, but it's still Brazil is under conversations with the US government because they don't seem to be treated fairly, and people are saying they are being, their human rights have been violated. So has been a lot of conversations about that.
So what happens once they get to Brazil? For example, if they're illegal immigrants that have been living in the States for, let's say, 10 years,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't have family, or what happens next? Does the government give them some kind of support?
So again, when they arrived in Brazil, sometimes they do have their documents, sometimes they do not. Because remember, like here in the States, there are around 2 million Brazilians living today in the United States, and allegedly between 200 and 300,000 illegal or undocumented. I prefer undocumented than illegal, undocumented Brazilians. So when they arrive to Brazil, if they don't have any type of documents or anything, the government do help them, like to provide their documentation. But they are in limbo again. Sometimes they get to their final destinations where they are from, but that is basically it. They are not, they might need to reach for non-for-profit organizations or other, people to try to help them. There is not that much of help.
Help.
Yes.
So what happens? Well, one of my biggest questions and concerns with all this is that all these people support two families, because
Right.
not only they support the family in the US, but they also send remittances to the countries every month.
Correct.
So
Correct.
basically, they're supporting two families.
Mm, yes, and that is a very good question, because people, when they are deported, sometimes they are removed from home and they have property. Sometimes they acquired properties here. They have bank accounts. They drive, nice cars, or they have already established their
Life.
lives here, and that is all left behind. So if they don't have sometimes the support of friends or people willing to help, that is also, everything is left behind. The government, especially the US government, does not have any obligation to help you with your assets, with whatever is here.
Whatever it was left behind.
Exactly. So I was recently reading a case of this Brazilian guy that he was, left, but thank God his wife and kid remained here. So the wife and the child are now planning ahead, maybe selling whatever they have to meet with the father back in Brazil. So they are leaving voluntarily the country before the authorities reach out. So sometimes people that are afraid, or if they already have removals proceedings in place, they should be, or they it's better if they are prepared. trying to reach out to, non-for-profit organizations or families and friends, sometimes your church, to see if people can support you, can help you with whatever is left behind. The good thing is if they have money on a bank, the money still it's gonna to be there. The government is not gonna take your
The
money. They
government
don't
cannot take the money away.
cannot do that, and then that can be sometimes managed from abroad, from afar. So you try to reach your bank, you have all the online stuff that you can always do, right? But as you said, these families, they are here working to raise money and buy properties back in Brazil, in the small cities. So they generate a lot of economy, in
Not
the
only
country.
here, but there.
But there, exactly. So now what happens? There are people that sometimes they go back in a better situation or something, or not. So now you have, things left here behind, things in Brazil that are also not that good because the economy is still not that good. So is it why still people are leaving? So yeah, you might generate another crisis of people. Okay, now what do we do? We don't
Correct.
have yeah. So it might increase all these problems of money being not sent or income not being generated, and so that might be another
Well,
thing.
the economic growth is, in my
Yes,
opinion, it can decline a lot
right. There are
because all
cities
these
in
people were labor
yes,
that
there are
are
cities
not
in some
here.
states in Brazil that a lot of the majority of the population, they have family or friends living here, so everything that happens there is because of those that are here, the properties being acquired and everything. So the cities are growing, expanding because the money coming from the US. So now that might be an issue as well. So let's see what is going to happen. So already two flights then with illegal undocumented immigrants sent to Brazil.
But you mentioned that there had been like 8,000
Yes.
Brazilians sent back.
Deported.
So before even Trump took office.
Yes, yes. So there was this agreement that a former Brazilian president signed with Trump's first administration, and so since then, many people have been deported. During Biden, like the 4 years of Biden administration, it said that 8,000 Brazilians were deported.
Were deported.
Yes, because again, you need to have this deal between the two countries. So it's not, okay, the Americans are deporting you, but your home country accepts you. So there have been a lot of flights. But the conditions of the flights are the problems now, not the number of people yet.
Okay. Yes, because today there was a story about Asian immigrants deported to Panama.
Yeah. So
Accepted, so I don't know how Asian immigrants are going to be stuck, and they're gonna send them to Darien, which is the border with Colombia, which is, if I'm correct, that's like the forest.
it's like all the prisoners being sent to Guantanamo Bay, right?
Guantanamo.
Allegedly, they are from Venezuela, the Venezuela gang, members. But, the conditions are not sanitary and are not. We need to be like have in mind that uh, um, people, even though they are undocumented, they still have their civil rights. They have their some of the rights. So I don't know how those countries will do with those flights, with those people being deported. But I believe it's going to generate even more talks and conversations than we already have seen in these past few days. Uh, it seems that ICE has a quota. like
Yes,
around
like
2,000 people a day. Where they're gonna put out these people? It's a lot of it's a lot of detainees, right? 2,000 people a day. So, but so far it seems that they removed 8,000. So they are a little below the quota.
so let me ask you something. What's happening with the family separation, the children, the wives? Like, are they being separated or are they being giving a choice not to be separated and the family leaves?
They're like as I said in this case, this Brazilian guy, the family was left behind, so he was deported by himself because he was arrested. The family was not, so he was not arrested at home. He was arrested outside.
Right?
Yes, and but usually if you might face families that you have legal or individuals with status and people without status. So that will be a decision for the families to make what they are going to do. So in this particular case, what I heard is that the family is voluntarily leaving the country, but sometimes they might take everybody, if everybody is undocumented. But most of these children were born in the United States, so they are citizens. So then it will be a decision for the parents exactly what to do. But if we follow what the news are saying, so most likely they will be deported as well, even though it's
Even
not
though
that
they are.
deported. Yes, they are not being deported, but they are going to live with their undocumented parents.
So what happens with, I know that the TPS has been
Temporary
canceled,
protection, yes, status.
correct, for
Mhm.
Haitians, Venezuelans.
So the recently changed was for the Venezuelans that their TPS, the one that is about to expire in April, is no longer being renewed. As you know, this is a temporary status and they need to be renewed before expiration. Usually they are valid for, I guess, 18 months or something. So every 18 months they need to be renewed. And what the Biden administration did, they renewed the TPS for the Venezuelans 10 days before leaving. But then when I'm sorry, Trump came in, so they said, you know what, we are reviewing all of these. So the new secretary decided
To cancel.
so there are two TPSs for Venezuelans in place. One that is about to expire now in April, and another one, I'm not sure if it's September. So the September is still going on, but most likely it might be canceled a few, 60 days prior, if we follow the same trend. So for people that have their TPSs right now expiring, they will need to find a different way to continue on this country, which is not easy, like if you are under a TPS, there are people that might be eligible for asylum, but others, unfortunately, they might not have that many options. But the other TPSs are still in place. We need to see what is going to happen by the time they expire, because they are not expiring at the same time, and based on the country's conditions, they might even be renewed, but we don't know. So and since they are said to be a temporary measure, what they are saying, hey, it's not for you to consider that your status. You need to use that time to find something else. I don't know. Let's see.
So are there any specific groups that have been targeted?
Allegedly, yes. Those the people that are considered criminals with criminal past, deportation orders, but we have seen that anyone that is illegal or undocumented, if ICE gets to you, you can be deported. And also because they want to reduce, the people crossing the border without authorization. So those are the main measures, is protecting the U.S. border, especially the Mexican U.S. border. And criminals or people who are already with deportation orders to being sent out.
Yes, but according to what the new administration is saying is that if you're here in the country legally, you become a
You are
criminal.
subject, yes, you are
So
you are
everybody is
subject.
now a criminal regardless if they have a
Yes,
pending case.
they said that, oh, we are going to target the criminals, but bottom line, anyone that is undocumented is subject to be deported, to be removed. So
So
there is good criteria, let's put this way.
is there anything that they can do? Like, for example, if
Yes, people.
ICE comes, what can they do?
Yes, that's an amazing question. If ICE knocks on your door, first of all, try to stay calm. I know it's difficult, but try to stay calm and do not open the door unless they have a valid warrant, a judicial warrant signed by a judge, not only by an ICE officer so they need, it's like they are going into someone else's house. Just bear in mind that if you open the door and allow them in, that's it. So you can get outside if you want to protect whomever is inside your house. You can ask to see the warrant. um, and again, you are allowed, or you are entitled to ask for a lawyer. And also you can say that you're not going to say anything, like that goes against you, that you can say that is against you. And they might be removed, they might be detained, but it's still, once they get to the detention center, whatever they are, they still can ask for a lawyer, or ask for non-for-profit organizations that can help them. So it's not just, if ICE shows up, just open the door. If you open the door, you allow them then in, and that then they have authority to do whatever they want inside your house.
Well, authority to do
Yeah.
everything? No,
No, like
to
authority
arrest you.
to arrest you and check, for the others' documents and those things that unfortunately we have seen happening.
So they're going door to door,
Mm-hmm,
basically.
mm-hmm. They are. They are. They are, and they have been like big. Like they arrive with high rifles and a lot of,
A lot
police
of
help.
toys.
Yeah. So they are doing a lot of show.
So once they get arrested, is there anything that a lawyer or a nonprofit can do, or
It really depends the situation of each individual. If they do have deportation orders,
yeah,
um,
no,
then unfortunately, yes.
understandably.
But sometimes they might be on asylum process. So they might be willing, or
So if they are on asylum process, or if they are on, for example, I've heard a lot of people that their visa is being
renewed.
renewed.
Yeah,
So
but then,
in
but
that case,
it really depends on the type of visa and when you say renewed, because remember, visas are the document that allowed you in the country. Once you are
correct.
here, you have, your 94, that is your authorization to stay. So has that expired, or have you filed for something else? So you are adjusting your status, or you are changing your
Correct.
status for something. So again, it's on a case by case basis. And then you really need to see, yes, there might be cases that you can be helped not everybody might be detained, but if it's a speed or fast removal, you might not have enough time to be giving all the help that you need or could have, and once you are out of the country, then your chances are very, very limited. But yeah, there might be cases where you are still under a process or something that a lawyer might be able to help you. Is especially again if you have an asylum pending or something like that going on. Mhm.
Yeah, thank you so much.
No, thank you.
And to be continued, because
Yes,
we need to know, like in a few months, what's going on, what's gonna happen with the economic growth of all these people. Also, there are people that have companies that have been contributing to Social Security, taxes, and a lot of things. So all
yes.
this is to be continued and how it's going to
Again,
affect.
yes, again, I believe immigration is going to be a hot topic during the entire administration. Hopefully, we have some changes in the laws that will help all of us immigrants to this country and will provide more legal ways for people to come. That is what I do hope so. And it's still there are a lot of ways for people to try to come legally to the US. So let's see what happens. But thank you so much, Gladys, for having me. Thank you.
Thank you, Katia, and to everyone, please stay safe, and above all, let's hope that there will be peace in the world. Have a great day.